So it is now my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished guests from the New York Community Trust. As you heard Michael mention at the top of this call, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for the tremendous, incredible generosity of the New York Community Trust, which partners with the Mark School to ensure that each of our fellows receives an executive certificate at the end and the completion of their program. We believe that we are one of the only programs in the country that grants such a certificate to leadership fellows who are burgeoning leaders in the nonprofit sector. And so we're really grateful for that partnership, but of course, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for the outstanding leadership, funding, and support of the New York Community Trust. And so it is our great honor to have with us, as you heard Michael mention, Pat Jenny, who is formerly of the New York Community Trust, and Pat Swann, who is our current program officer. And I believe we also have Shawn, who is the Vice President for Grants, on the call as well. So I will pass it off to Pat, who will say a few words now.
I'll let Shawn goes first and then I follow.
All right, so I'll go. Thank you so much, Brian. It's fantastic to see you in this setting. And thank you all so much for welcoming us today. The truth is the Trust is really lucky and honored to be a part of the Fellows Program. You guys are the leaders and the hard workers in all of this, and we are just lucky to be a part of it. I am a mere observer to this. It is really Pat Jenny and Pat Swann who were around early on making this happen. And so I'm just going to share a couple of observations and then pass it on to Pat. So the truth is these days for me, it feels like there are not a lot of signs out there of hope and camaraderie. We're in the middle of an unexpected wave and a country filled with divisiveness. And the Fellows Program at Baruch is really one of those shining examples of hope and camaraderie. And it spans throughout the city. It is the only thing in my experience as a philanthropist where I have heard about it at multiple nonprofits in completely different fields, where I have gone to visit multiple organizations whose fellows I have met, who have talked about the program, and where we are able to see their potential as future leaders of the city in all corners of the nonprofit sector. So congratulations to all of you for the work that you have done, but also for the work that I know you are going to continue to do to make the city a better, remarkable place to live in the coming years. We are in great hands in being in your hands, and we thank you for everything you're doing. It's great to see you. Congratulations. And with that, I'll hand it over to Pat Swann.
Thank you so much, Shawn. Dean Arias and Shawn have been very articulate. I'm going to just be really sweet and short and then hand it off to my friend and former colleague, Pat Jenny. We are really in need of leadership, desperate need of leadership in our country, in our city, in our state. So believe me when I say that of all the things that I've had the pleasure to be involved in throughout my career in the nonprofit and foundation world, this program is right up there. I am just so pleased at what it's been able to accomplish and what it will continue to accomplish. I know that these past couple of years have been incredibly challenging, and yet each of you fellows, your CEOs have made the commitment, you've made the commitment, you've persevered, our faculty, our mentors here, excuse me, I have to give a special shout out to our board member, Buzz Tenney, who's been a mentor in this program since the beginning, basically, and has always shared with me just really highly positive feedback on his experiences with the program. And of course, the staff. Michael Seltzer, I've always thought has been really lucky. He always seems to draw all these incredibly great staff, this team around him. And I'm convinced now it's not really about luck. It's some other magic sauce that he's got, because it's just an incredible staff. Brian, Shelley, Michael, Arden, Leah, they're just in all of the behind the scenes work that goes into keeping this program going on a virtual basis. And hopefully, let's all pray soon, back in some version of a combination of virtual and in person. It's just unbelievable. So I will not take up any more time. I'm really looking forward to hearing the rest of the program. And I'll pass it on to my former colleague, who I still miss. And hi, Pat. I'm so pleased to see you. Thank you so much for joining us for a little bit.
I have very little to say this evening. However, thank you is really what I want to say, both to Michael Seltzer for inviting me. As a retiree, I feel very honored to be thought of still 3 years later. All of the credit, I think, most of the credit for the trust participation in this program for this many cohorts and this many years is really due to Pat Swann. So congratulations to you, Swann, for sticking with it. And to my former workplace, New York Community Trust. It's wonderful to see a community foundation supporting over the long haul a really valuable program such as this one in a city where grooming the next group of leaders is probably one of the most important things we can all be doing. So congratulations to Shawn. You've made it for 3 years in this job. Hard to believe. Hello to Buzz. And thank you again, Michael, for inviting me. I really appreciate it. And of course, congratulations to this group of fellows. It would be fun to be doing this graduation in person as we used to do, but the time will come again. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we please unmute ourselves and give a big hand to Pat, and Shawn?
Pat.
So we know that we have many friends and family who are, familiar with the program that we offer. But for those of you who don't know, we are able to offer this incredible 12-week experience where fellows get to have some of the best leaders in fundraising, in HR and diversity, in financial and budget, come and lead sessions completely free of charge. It does not cost these organizations anything because of the underwriting and the support from the New York Community Trust, who is the first foundation to support us. And as Michael has mentioned, as of late, just this year, we were also joined by Robinhood. And so grantees from the New York Community Trust and Robinhood are able to send their leaders to this program completely free of charge, so that they can get skill building, so that they can expand their network of support, and so they can be prepared to be the executive directors and leaders of today's and tomorrow's nonprofit institutions in this great city. So I just want to say thank you again to the New York Community Trust, to Pat, to Shawn, to Deb, who is not on this call with us, but is with us and in our hearts from the Robinhood Foundation, because we are so incredibly grateful for your generous support and for pushing forward tomorrow's leaders. So thank you.